When we talk about Bleach, the first thing that comes to mind are its unforgettable characters, dramatic battles, and overarching themes of life, death, and rebirth. But beneath its surface lies something quieter, yet equally impactful: Kubo's breathtaking use of negative space. By the end of this video, I hope to show you how what isn't drawn in Bleach is just as important as what is. For me, Kubo's use of negative space creates a visual language all on its own. One that builds tension, invites reflection, and connects deeply with the themes of isolation, connection, and existence. This is what makes Bleach such a visually and emotionally impactful manga. In this video, we're deep diving into the artistry behind Bleach's panels. We'll focus on 3 key areas. 1. Negative space as a narrative tool. 2. Negative space as a reflection of Bleach's themes. And finally, the reader's interpretation: how emptiness becomes engagement. At first glance, the minimalistic panels in Bleach, with their empty backgrounds and stark compositions, might seem incomplete or even lazy. But they are anything but. Some critics argue that Bleach's minimalism makes it feel boring or visually dull compared to other manga. In my view, though, this simplicity is where Kubo's genius lies. These choices are intentional, drawing readers into the story's emotional and narrative weight in a way that few other series do. What might seem empty at first glance is actually full of meaning, purpose, and depth. Negative space refers to the empty areas around and between subjects. In skilled hands, it's not just nothingness. It's a vital tool that shapes focus, creates tension, and emphasizes what's present. Kubo's use of negative space throughout Bleach demonstrates how the absence of detail can amplify emotional impact. It directs the reader's gaze and heightens the significance of every line, expression, and movement. Let's start with one of Bleach's most iconic moments: Ichigo's first Bankai transformation during the Soul Society arc. In this scene, Kubo eliminates the background entirely, isolating Ichigo in a vast expanse of white. This emptiness does more than simplify the composition. It creates a sense of gravity and focus. This technique aligns with visual hierarchy, a principle in art and design that prioritizes certain elements over others. By removing unnecessary details, Kubo draws attention to the most critical aspects of the scene, allowing readers to feel its emotional resonance. Another example is Aizen's reveal as the mastermind behind the events during the Soul Society arc. The stark panels leading up to his betrayal are almost void of background details, focusing entirely on his calm demeanor. The emptiness mirrors his controlled and calculated nature, making the eventual twist feel inevitable and terrifying, that sense of betrayal being on full display. Negative space also plays a critical role in creating suspense. Kubo often uses empty panels to slow pacing, letting tension simmer before the action explodes. Consider the lead up to Rukia's execution. The use of negative space creates a sense of anticipation, as though time itself is stretching. When Ichigo finally arrives and blocks the execution, the impact is heightened because of the visual and narrative buildup. This technique mirrors suspense building in film, where moments of silence are used to create tension. In Bleach, the visual silence of negative space serves the same purpose, making climactic moments feel even more explosive when they arrive. Even in its high-octane battles, Bleach uses narrative space to elevate the stakes. While other manga rely on busy, intricate backgrounds to enhance action, Kubo often strips these elements away, focusing entirely on the combatants. Take Ichigo's battle with Ulquiorra. As the battle intensifies, the panel backgrounds dissolve into white voids. The lack of detail places the reader's focus on the combatants, ensuring that each blow and movement carries maximum weight. This approach transforms battles into something more intimate and symbolic. The absence of background details makes each fight feel like it exists in its own isolated reality, heightening the emotional stakes. While negative space does enhance individual moments, its true power lies in how it reflects Bleach's deeper themes. Isolation is one of the most profound themes in Bleach. From Ichigo's struggles with his responsibilities to the existential loneliness of the Hollows, the series often explores the spaces that separate people, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Negative space in Bleach becomes a metaphor for these separations. When characters are framed against a blank background, it's not just a stylistic choice, it's a reflection of their inner state. Ulquiorra's scenes are perhaps the most striking example. As the Espada who represents apathy, Ulquiorra is often depicted in featureless expanses, surrounded by emptiness. This visual language mirrors the void at his core, making his interactions with Orihime and Ichigo feel all the more poignant. But it's not just the Hollows who experience this isolation. Ichigo himself is frequently depicted in moments of solitude, surrounded by blank spaces that underscore the emotional weight of his journey. Even when he's surrounded by allies, Kubo's framing reminds us that Ichigo's path is one of inherent loneliness. Negative space in Bleach doesn't just reflect personal isolation. It symbolizes the existential void that permeates the series. This is most evident in Hueco Mundo, the barren, featureless world of the Hollows. In the Hueco Mundo arc, we see stark black and white landscapes that aren't just a setting. They're a visual representation of the emptiness that defines the Hollow's existence. By immersing readers in this desolate environment, Kubo forces us to confront the void alongside his characters. This void isn't merely physical, it's philosophical. Throughout Bleach, characters grapple with the question of purpose, mortality, and the boundaries between worlds. The negative space becomes a canvas for those questions, inviting readers to reflect on the uncertainties of existence. Even in moments of victory, negative space can serve as a reminder of what's been lost. After Ichigo defeats Aizen, the stark, empty panels emphasize the aftermath's emotional weight. But the emptiness around Ichigo reflects the cost of what's been gained, and what's been left behind. Another key theme in Bleach is the fragility of human and spiritual connections. Bonds are often strained, tested, or broken, and negative space becomes a visual metaphor for this instability. Ichigo and Rukia's farewell at the end of the Soul Society arc reflects this. The vast space between them underscores the emotional and physical distance separating their worlds. Despite their bond, the emptiness around them serves as a reminder of the barriers we cannot overcome. This use of white space aligns with the Japanese aesthetic concept of ma, which highlights the importance of the space between forms and the rhythm it creates. By embracing this sense of purposeful emptiness, Kubo emphasizes the transient beauty and fragility of connection. The negative space not only deepens Bleach's themes, but also invites readers to engage with the story in a personal and interactive way. One of the most fascinating aspects of Kubo's use of space is how it invites readers to participate in the storytelling. This ties into the concept of the beholder's share, introduced by art historian Ernest Gombrich, which argues that art is only complete when the viewer interprets it. In Bleach, this emptiness acts as an open canvas, allowing readers to project their own emotions and interpretations onto the page. When a character is framed against a blank background, the meaning isn't spelled out. It's left to the reader to decide what the emptiness signifies. Is it the reflection of the character's solitude, an unspoken tension, or the vastness of the moment? This ambiguity turns the act of reading Bleach into a more personal and interactive experience. This approach is particularly powerful in moments of emotional ambiguity. By leaving these spaces undefined, Kubo ensures that each reader's experience of Bleach is unique. The emptiness can be filled with the reader's own perspective, whether that's awe at transformative events or sorrow for the characters. The emotional resonance becomes as much about the reader's interpretation as the story itself. Negative space also makes Bleach feel universal. By stripping down scenes to their emotional core, Kubo allows readers to connect with the characters on a deeply personal level. The absence of detail invites us to see ourselves in the story, making it feel intimate and relatable. In this way, Bleach's negative space becomes more than a design choice. It becomes a bridge between the characters and the audience. It transforms the story into a shared experience, where the blank spaces are filled with the thoughts and emotions of each individual reader. By leaving space for interpretation, Kubo ensures that Bleach remains not just a story, but an ongoing dialogue between art and its audience. Kubo's use of negative space isn't just a stylistic choice, it's a storytelling tool that elevates Bleach into an art form. By drawing on various artistic concepts, Kubo creates a narrative that is as much about what isn't shown as what is. Negative space in Bleach isn't empty. It's alive with meaning, tension, and emotion. It reflects the series' themes, deepens its key moments, and invites readers to become active participants in the story. If you've enjoyed this exploration of Kubo's artistry, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more deep dives into the world of anime and manga. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.